in the queue for the causeway.
With their phones, and sometimes I will be texting away and not really paying attention to my surroundings. I'm going to pretend that I'm texting on my phone and accidentally walk into this deep lake, but instead of sinking, it's going to appear that I'm walking on water. Let's see how this turns out.
Now we're going across the causeway to Lindisfarne.
Oh, this is nice, isn't it? Different, isn't it? Very different. We don't want to go too far over to the left though, do we? Not really. And get stuck in the sand. Got a couple of passing places, looks like a roundabout in the middle of the sea here, look. I reckon we could have come across here a little bit earlier actually. So it looks like the tide's been out for quite a while, doesn't it? Wouldn't fancy getting stuck over here though, would we? We'll be okay, we've got Sheila, she'll make us drinks all night. Mate, Sheila. John was singing and take photos. I like there's signs here saying no off-road parking. People are silly enough and they do park on the sand, and there are videos on YouTube where the cars are covered in water. So it's their own silly fault, isn't it? Yeah, Boston, they park down there as well, yeah, same thing, isn't it? Yeah. Looks like the water doesn't come up this part so much. Big sign there, it's not saying power cables.
And that's how to drive across the North Sea. Well, there was no way in a million years that I could walk right the way out to the castle. And it would appear the little minibus that used to take people out there and back wasn't running anymore. So Jackie decided to walk as far as she could. Poor thing, even she didn't make it, but she took some nice photographs which I'll show you in a few minutes. I stayed around the immediate area of the village and took a wander around the old abbey and various places. I also took advantage of going into the shop to buy some Lindisfarne mead. This one is for you, Oscar. Holy Island Lifeguard Coast Guard Station. They've got this giant bird here that people have their photos took with. What about this is supposed to be a wildlife haven. I think I'd be put off by that, wouldn't you? I can hold it straight, that is. There we go. Shooting into the sun again, but there's the village of Holy Island, Lindisfarne. As we pan round this way, the ruins of the abbey. There we are. Still a small fishing fleet here. It's a nice quiet cove. I had to delete the soundtrack here because the wind was so much, even with the windlass, that you can't hear what I was saying, and it's a dreadful noise. But as you can see, I'm panning round this little bay here and looking across the Bamburgh Head and Bamburgh Castle. I'm going to zoom into it in a moment, I think. There we go. That's where we were this morning. Very striking, isn't it? I'm looking at Castle at Lindisfarne. This is another well-preserved castle on this island, very well connected with St Aidan back in the 7th century. There we go. And these are the 3 photos that Jackie took while she was there. I think they make a very nice representation of the bay and the view across towards Bamburgh Head. Well, I'm looking along one of the main streets here. Definitely buildings of character. Only thing that spoils it is the wheelie bins. You'd think they could find something aesthetically better looking for these historic places, wouldn't you? This is St Cuthbert's Church, the Presbyterian, and the dates down there, I think we'll find says 1891. Try and get close enough to it using my backup camera. There it is, 1891. Typical non-conformist church building, a little bit altered over the years, but still looking very nice, minus what was probably once a bell. Well, I'm at the remains of the old priory. There's just so many people around. But there it is. Well, in the church at Bamburgh, we store the story of St Aidan. Here on Lindisfarne, that story moves on, because in the same year that St Aidan died, along came St Cuthbert, a shepherd, who saw a vision and entered into a monastery, working his way up the ranks, as it were, until he was appointed as the prior of Lindisfarne. Now, he became well known for helping the sick and the poor, but he finally retired. He was a bit of a recluse, really, and he finally retired in 671, and built himself a little oratory and cell way off the beaten track in somewhere in Lindisfarne. He, funnily enough, was one of the world's earliest wildlife pioneers, trying to save wildfowl and bird life there. And in actual fact, the eider duck is often known as St Cuthbert's duck. Now, after he died, he was still revered very greatly, and then came the Viking raids. So in around 875, his body was put in a coffin and just went around various parts of Northumbria, almost, if you like, being chased by the Danes every step of the way. But eventually it came to Durham, coinciding with the founding of the cathedral in around 995. And we shall see a bronze statue of a sculpture in Durham that in a few moments, when we go into St Mary's Church here on Lindisfarne, you will see the original of, and it's called The Journey, and it depicts the movement of Sir Cuthbert's body. Did I say Sir? St Cuthbert's body, from his resting place in Lindisfarne to his final resting place in Durham Cathedral. And here we are inside St Mary's Church. This was built originally on what was supposed to be the site of St Aidan's Abbey, church, whatever you want to call it. Obviously this one is not the original building, dates from somewhat later. Regrettably, to my horror, most of the film that I made inside the church I was unable to use for various reasons, but I have managed to salvage this little bit, and that's quite important because I spoke about the sculpture The Journey by Fenwick Lawson, and there it is over in the corner in front of you there, and this is the original, sculptured in wood, and it shows the monks leaving Lindisfarne, hotly pursued by the Danes, and as you've probably heard a little bit earlier in the commentary, it found its way to Durham in the end, and we will find our way there in a future video. This is a lovely church, and there's just a little bit more panning round to do. It's got a nice font. Unfortunately, I couldn't find out very much about the font. It looks like a later addition to the building. Sometimes fonts, some of the oldest things. That's why I always have a look, because they fascinate me, the designs and the dates and everything else. You get a big clue sometimes to the history of the area from simply the font in the church. But there you go. I hope you enjoy this panning around, and then we will be on our way back across the causeway. I think it's swallows.
Oh wow.
It's alright.
Sorry.
I'm looking up here. Hello. Found another nest.
Have you?
Yeah.
What, swallow?
I'm pretty certain, but the adult hasn't come out yet.
I thought I saw some flying over when I was walking across.
Yeah. You must have a big brood in there. Normally when they go quiet, the adult leaves. You didn't get to the castle.
I didn't, but I got quite far along and I got some lovely photos of the bay. Somebody helped me work out how I can get my... What time have we got to be back?
I don't know.
4 o'clock?
I'm sure he said 4 o'clock.
Oh, something just flew in again.
Yeah.
You can hear them chirping.
I saw it fly in, but it didn't go exactly where I thought it was going to.
It's 3:45.
We better get back. He'd just gone out again.
Yeah.
We're going back along the other.
Yeah, definitely been a lovely peaceful island to live on, wouldn't it? Without the tourists being on there. So it's nice when the tide's in because there's no tourists there, are there? There are 3 churches on the island. You've got the main parish church, St Mary's. You've got the Catholic church, which is by the coach park. And also you've got a United Reformed Methodist church as well. 3 churches, a population of only 120 people. It's not bad, is it? And each church on a Sunday gets 2 people in each. Wonderful view out there though, isn't it? Lovely hills wherever you look. So hopefully you all had a nice day today.
even on the causeway yet, are we? No.
I'm watching the poles and I haven't seen anybody drive along there yet.
I think you've probably got to know exactly what you're doing and have permission to do that. It's not an official.
Should you imagine it would guide the people that walk in if it was
Yes, because out there's a whole load of people walking.
I would have thought that was what it was for.
Yeah.
Driving.
They're following the poles, but they'll get their feet wet because it doesn't dry out fully.
Maybe Mr. Google went out there and
It was 4x4, yeah.
rather than just an ordinary car.
Mind you, they've only got another 4 hours or so to go before the tide comes back in again. And we are now actually back on the causeway.
We've actually had 2 hours
Yeah,
at least
yeah.
where the tide has been out anyway.
Yeah. See, they got some, where those cars were parked there, they got some markers in a semicircle. Like a roundabout in the middle. Somebody else is off-road parked there.
Passing places, aren't
By the looks of it, yeah. There's some more people coming off the sand here. I should add here that this is part of the Pilgrim's Way, which is only something like 72 miles down through Northumbria and out onto Lindisfarne. It's very probably the original route taken by, we'll call them pedestrians, walkers, pilgrims, call them what you like, as the safest way of getting across at low tide. You'll see it's marked out by these poles. It is in fact the most direct way to cross from the mainland to Lindisfarne, but even this walk is 3 miles long. The motor causeway is something like 5 to 5.5 miles, and it's in 2 bits. You go across one large bit of the causeway, then you're on land for a short section, then you have to go across another bit of causeway. But this is a straight route, 3 miles. You have to take your shoes and socks off because the tide never goes out fully, but it goes out enough for you to make the crossing safely, although there is a refuge halfway across. I'm not sure that this is recommended as a route where you can safely take a motor vehicle, but the strange thing is, if you look on Google Street View, and I guess other street views are available, it actually follows the route with the markers, so worthwhile going and having a look at that. It should also be noted at this point we're only about 10 miles away from Berwick. Good grief, we're nearly in Scotland. It just shows how far north you come without really realising it. But it was a lovely visit, and as I say, very interesting to see all these people having trundled across through muddy creeks and water that's flowing round their ankles. I wonder if they saw any fish. But anyway, you'll see these are arriving safe and sound and ready to presumably rejoin their vehicles on the mainland. I doubt very much whether they left them parked on the sand here. It'd be foolish if they did. There we go. Looks like a bridge, doesn't it? Oh, there's an egret. Did you see that? See them buildings in the distance. I think we're just over there. It's amazing.
On my left hand side. Looks like an old railway line, doesn't it? Down there.
It was. It was probably the old route taken by trains from Carlisle into Newcastle until 60s or 70s, I think it was. I'm not sure without looking it up. But since then the trains have gone in on the south side of the Tyne, presumably to serve the metro centre, and then go into Newcastle over one of the bridges. On our way home we passed this thing here. I'm sure that will need no introduction to most of you, but it's a little bit of a sneak preview as to what's to come in the video later on in this series. So that's the end of our 2 videos covering the visit to Bamburgh and Lindisfarne. Hope very much that you enjoyed them. Sorry if I got any bits of information wrong, but then that's what I like to do in my videos. I encourage you to go and look information for yourselves, go and visit for yourselves, so hopefully you'll do that as and when you get the chance. Jackie and I are off for our evening meal, and we will see you in the next video. I wonder where we'll be going then. We'll find out.